What did the Vice President of the United States, a college football coach, a comedian who went viral, and one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks of all time all have in common? They've all allegedly been dating the same woman, and not one single story, not one, is actually true. But here's what nobody is really asking. Why does this keep happening? Why does the internet keep targeting Erika Kirk, a woman who is still publicly grieving, and turning her into the center of a joke that just won't die? Stick with me, because today we are breaking this whole thing down from the very beginning. The hug that started it all, the explanation Erika gave on national television, the satire account that turned this into a recurring trend, and the names that just keep getting added to the list. And this story is a lot more layered than the headlines are telling you. So let's get into it. First, who exactly is Erika Kirk, and why is she suddenly everywhere? Erika is the widow of Charlie Kirk, the conservative political commentator and founder of Turning Point USA, one of the largest conservative youth organizations in the country. Charlie passed away earlier this year, and his death was a massive moment in conservative political circles. Almost immediately after his passing, Erika stepped into the public eye. She began representing the organization, speaking at TPUSA events, and carrying forward the work her husband spent years building. That context matters, because everything that follows starts at one of those events. Now, the hug. It had been just 7 weeks since Charlie Kirk's passing when Erika Kirk stood on stage at a TPUSA event to introduce Vice President JD Vance. 7 weeks. That is barely enough time to process grief, let alone return to a stage in front of thousands of people and give a speech. But there she was. And what she said immediately got people talking. According to People magazine, Erika opened by saying, and I'm quoting here, "No one will ever replace my husband, but I do see some similarities of my husband in JD. In Vice President JD Vance? I do. And that's why I am so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight." Now, in the right context, that reads as a meaningful tribute. She's connecting her late husband's values to the vice president she's introducing. That's not unusual in political settings. But then came the moment that the internet completely ran with. As JD Vance walked onto the stage, the two hugged, and a photo from that moment spread across the internet almost instantly. In the image, Vance's hand is briefly on Erika's waist, while her hand rests on the back of his head. That one photo, that single frame, was enough for an entire narrative to explode online. Screenshots everywhere, comment sections going wild. Suddenly, everyone had a theory, and the question, are these two together, refused to go away. To her credit, Erika Kirk did not hide from the controversy. She addressed it directly in an appearance on Megyn Kelly Live, and she gave a very specific, very detailed response. She said, and again I'm quoting, "My love language is touch, if you will. So I will give you a play-by-play. They just played the emotional video. I'm walking over, JD is walking over, I'm starting to cry. He says, 'I'm so proud of you.' And I say, 'God bless you,' and I touch the back of his head." She went on to explain that touching the back of someone's head during a hug is simply a gesture she uses with people she feels close to. Her way of saying "God bless you" in that moment. Reasonable explanation? Absolutely. Did the internet accept it and move on? Absolutely not. What we do know is that according to all available reports, Erika and JD Vance have not been seen together since that event. No follow-up sightings, no verified interaction, nothing. But by then, the rumor machine was already running at full speed, and it wasn't about to stop at JD Vance, because next came Lane Kiffin. For anyone who doesn't follow college football, Kiffin is a well-known head coach with a very active and very entertaining social media presence. Not someone you'd typically expect to appear in this story at all, but an account on X posted a claim that Kiffin and Erika Kirk were reportedly dating. And it spread. Fast. People were reacting, sharing, debating, until Grok's community notes jumped in and flagged the post for what it actually was. The account that posted it? A satirical account. The story? Completely fabricated. The community note was direct. It read, "There is no proof of this. Proof is not cited in the claim, nor is it reported by major news organizations, which would be expected for a factual allegation of this magnitude." That should have been the end of the whole thing. But here's the problem. This wasn't the first time this had happened. It was part of a pattern that had already been going on for months, And at the center of that pattern is one account, Hoops Crave. This account on X has made it almost a running series, posting satirical dating headlines that pair Erika Kirk with some of the most random and recognizable names imaginable. And every single time, at least some portion of the internet takes the bait before the fact-checkers catch up. Earlier this year, the account posted that Tom Brady and Erika Kirk were reportedly dating. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, one of the most recognized athletes on the planet, paired with the Charlie Kirk widow in a story that was, again, completely made up. Then came the most recent addition to the list, Druski. If you know Druski, you already know why this one is especially ironic. He's a comedian and content creator who built his following on wild, unpredictable skits and characters. And here's the thing, Druski had already gone viral before this post even dropped, specifically for doing a skit about Erika Kirk. So the account posts a photo of the two of them together with a caption implying a relationship, right after Druski had already made her the subject of one of his bits. Obviously satire, clearly a joke, and yet it still spread. Because that is just how the internet operates at this point. Now let's actually talk about what's going on beneath the surface here. Because when you zoom out and look at the full picture, this is not really about JD Vance or Lane Kiffin or Tom Brady or Druski. What this is really about is the way internet culture treats public figures the moment they become vulnerable. Erika Kirk lost her husband. She stepped back into public life because that was the role she had built alongside him. And in doing so, she handed the internet something it loves more than almost anything else, a combination of grief, politics, and celebrity all in one story. The hug with Vance, that was a real moment that sparked real discussion. You can debate what it meant or didn't mean. But Tom Brady, Lane Kiffin, Druski, at a certain point that is not commentary anymore. That is just a game being played at someone else's expense for likes and engagement. What makes this worth paying attention to is how Erika has handled it. She explained herself clearly. She kept showing up. She didn't disappear from public life or melt down online. Whether you agree with her politics or not, that composure under a very specific kind of internet pressure is genuinely notable. So let's bring it all together. The JD Vance hug happened at a TPUSA event just 7 weeks after Charlie Kirk's passing. Erika explained it herself on Megyn Kelly Live in detail. Since then, a satire account has made her name into a recurring internet trend, pairing it with Tom Brady, Lane Kiffin, and most recently Druski. And every time people fall for it before the community notes catch up, none of it is real. All of it keeps spreading. And somehow, Erika Kirk keeps handling it better than most people would. So, here's my question for you. Is this just harmless internet humor at this point, or has it genuinely crossed a line? And let me know in the comments. I want to hear where you actually stand on this one. And if this is your first time here, you just found your new favorite channel for celebrity news that actually makes sense of the story. We are HW Celeb News, and we do not just hand you the headline and walk away. We give you the full picture every single time. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because in this news cycle, the next story is never far behind. I'll see you in the next one.